Okay, at this time I'd like to welcome all of you to, I think it's our 6th annual Farmfest event here at the Heritage Center. It's always a pleasure to see everyone come out for this event, and it looks like the weather gods have been very good to us again this year. About 3 months ago, everybody was worried about the weather at one of our planning meetings, and I said, the sun's going to shine, don't worry about it, put it in the minutes. And they put it in the minutes, and thank goodness the sun did come out, because I'd have to eat crow for 6 months if it didn't. At this time, we're going to go ahead and have the flag raising, and I'd like to introduce Mary Corrigan, who's going to sing God Bless America as the flag goes up. Remember, gentlemen, remove your headgear.
We are supposed to. So we got to turn around. That would be a good thing.
You ready?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I'd like for all of you to please join me in singing God Bless America. God bless America, the land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the ocean wide with foam. God bless America, our home sweet home. God bless America, our home sweet home. And God bless each and every one of you. Have a great day today.
Thank you so much, Mary. Very lovely. We appreciate it.
we have one more. We want to play Bugle to the Colors, which is a symbolism of honor to the flag.
And look. Today's flag dedication activities are supported by the Veterans of Foreign Wars, or VFW, Don Hampton Post 10626 from Dayton, Oregon. We also wish to thank all of you here today to be aware of the significant contributions made by all veterans and their wives and husbands and family members, friends and neighbors who supported these veterans so that we may have the way of life that we so much enjoy in our great and wonderful country. The VFW veterans assisting us today will each be provided with a brief military biography so we may better understand some of their contributions. I wish to also note we are especially honored today to have present for this flag dedication 3 veterans of World War II. To begin with, I wish to first present to you the 4 World War II veterans, the first being Homer Farley. He is a U.S. Army veteran of World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. During World War II, Homer was assigned to the 1st and 5th Infantry Divisions. He served under the famous George Patton. He came ashore on the Utah beach in France and participated in 7 European battles, with one of the most famous, the Ardennes Battle of the Bulge. From Normandy, Homer walked to Poland, fighting retreating, advancing Nazi troops. Homer was wounded twice and received 2 Purple Hearts. In Korea, Homer served with the 1st Republic of Korea Division, which defended South Korea from the North Korean aggression. In Vietnam, after only a few weeks of service, a Huey gun shop helicopter Homer was in was shot down, and after 3 wars, he returned home. Thank you, Homer. Vic Banky. He was a U.S. Army veteran of World War II. Vic was assigned to the 82nd Airborne Division Rifle Company. In Europe, he participated in 3 major battles: the Ardennes, commonly known as the Battle of the Bulge; the Rhineland, where he was wounded by German rifle fire, received a Purple Heart after recuperating in the hospital, returned to the frontline duty for Battle of Central Europe. He also participated in the liberation of the Nazi concentration camp known as Roblin on May 2nd, 1945. Thank you, Vic. Bob Fulham. He is a U.S. Army World War II. He was assigned to the 459th Military Police Escort Guard, where he guarded German prisoners of war from Rommel's North African Army. Later, he was retained as a combat engineer and served in France, Holland, and Belgium from 43 to 46. Bob also received the Rhineland Campaign Badge for his service. Thank you, Bob. We wish to especially pay respect to Gurney Pine, another veteran of World War II who served in the Navy. Gurney has participated in several of our flag raising by VFW and planned on being here today, but suddenly passed away last week. Our deepest sympathy goes to Gladys, his wife of 56 years, and his family. He will be laid to rest in the Willamette National Cemetery next week. Now I wish to introduce 2 Korean War veterans, first being Frank Domer. He was a draftee and a U.S. Army veteran. Frank was assigned to the 3rd Infantry Division, where he served as a communications sergeant for the 39th Field Artillery Battalion. He participated in 3 campaigns which helped drive the North Koreans and Chinese aggressors from Korea Peninsula to obtain armistice. Thank you, Frank. Steve Cohn. He is a U.S. Army veteran and was assigned to the 7th Infantry Division, 24th Aviation Unit, stationed 8 miles south of the demilitarized zone and well within artillery range of the North Koreans. His unit flew the DMZ using L-19 aircraft as a deterrent against the North Korean aggression. Thank you, Steve. Brad Shelburne is a U.S. Air Force veteran of Germany. Brad was assigned to the 50th Fighter Bomber Wing, 81st Fighter Bomber Squadron, which checked Soviet air power and kept Germany liberated. Brad's commander in Germany was the famous World War II General Robinson Risner, who also served in Vietnam, was shot down and spent 7 years as a POW in Hanoi, in North Vietnam. Brad also served with Chuck Yeager, who was the first pilot to break the sound barrier. Thank you, Brad. We also have with us today 4 veterans of the Vietnam War. The first veteran to be introduced is our very own Tony Meeker. Tony is a U.S. Air Force veteran of Vietnam. In the Air Force, Tony was trained as an aerial photo reconnaissance and first participated in gathering intelligence during the Cuban Missile Crisis, which put the U.S. and Soviet on the brink of war until the missiles were removed from Cuba. Thank you very much, Tony, for your efforts to bring that situation to a close. In Vietnam, Tony arrived early in the war when only 19,000 U.S. troops were present and was assigned to the 13th Reconnaissance Squadron, where he provided intelligence gathering to support military operations. He also participated in providing intelligence data for the U.S. B-52 bombing operations known as the Rolling Thunder that carried out early in the war against North Vietnam. Thank you, Tony. Rex Smith is a U.S. Army veteran of Vietnam. In Vietnam, Rex was assigned to the American Division in the Military Intelligence Unit. He supported the American Division military action, enabling secure radio communications to prohibit Chinese and Russian interpretation of radio code and intercepted Viet Cong communications, which then supported offensive actions. For his military contributions, which saved lives of many fellow soldiers, Rex received the Bronze Star. Thank you, Rex. Juan Palacios. Juan is a Marine Corps veteran of Vietnam. Juan is the commander of the VFW Don Hampton Post. In Vietnam, he was assigned to the 1st Marine Division at Da Nang Air Force Base, which was located just south of the demilitarized zone. Da Nang Air Force Base was an important target for many North Vietnamese offensive military operations, much of what Juan experienced as incoming rockets which often fell like rain. Thank you, Juan. Richard McJunkin, a draftee and U.S. Army veteran of Vietnam. In Vietnam, Richard was assigned to the 1st Military Intelligence Battalion, where his main duty, Asia, was to collect intelligence data in Cambodia, Laos, and the Mekong Delta of South Vietnam. While in the Mekong Delta, Richard quickly learned that Vietnamese translation of Mekong into English meant mud, mosquitoes, leeches, and that the Delta meant a whole lot more. Thank you, Richard. That concludes the introduction of our VFW members that helped present the colors today. We appreciate their help and their dedication. Juan.
I'd like to introduce 3 members. One of them is Gunny Brandon, U.S. Marine Corps, Vietnam vet, heavily decorated. I don't remember all his medals that he's got, but he's got some. I think he also got the Good Conduct Medal. Not sure. This is Gunny Brandon, Marine Corps. The other individual next to him is Hodwell. I always had a hard time. He's also my, what we call the guard for my post meetings and stuff, so he protects me. I got him trained to take a bullet, maybe. But he's Army in Vietnam. And the other one, she comes from Rainier. She's Air Force retired, 20 years. She served in Korea. And Linda Kelly. Welcome.
Thank you, Juan. At this time, I'd like to recognize the Sea Cadets who are helping with the tenuous job of the parking. The commander is Julie Skeffington, and the cadets helping her are Maria Lopez, Tammy McKenzie, Sammy Freeman, Andrew Stieber, Trustin Hood, and Nathan Turnage. We appreciate their help. I'd also like to recognize a few businesses and people who helped put this event on. First being Select Seed of Amity, who helped by providing the oat seed, Oregon Stationaries for providing and Copy Cabana for printing, Cascade Rolling Steel Mills as a friend of Farmfest sponsor, Wilco Farm Stores, OVS, Oregon Vineyard Supply for the Gator. And artists participating this year are Terry Peasley, Chris Cummings, Claire Carver, John Stromine, and Marilyn Affolter. We want to thank the Oregon Draft Beaters Association for helping put this event on, the Amity Fire Department for providing the EMTs for today, Mel Kelchner and BJ Jones for their help in providing the food for today, and all the musicians that come to play and all the volunteers that help put this event on. And a special thanks to the Watts family for all they do for us out here.
of them at home. It's cheaper per horse. At least that's what I tell my wife.
Yeah.
So I figure roughly I can get by about $60 a month a horse, unless there's some serious vet care.
Do you use them for anything other than farming?
Not too much. I've done some plowing, or not plowing, logging, but the economy's been so poor.
Okay.
Oh, he's taking a picture of me? Now let me move. Pointing at me.
That is a huge horse.
You go in here and get a cup of coffee.
Get away from me, horse. Look at all that hair.
She's shedding. Spring.
Got a 3-cornered plow and an acre to sell, and a mule that I bought with a $10 bill. A broken down shack and a rusty old mill, but it's my home sweet home out on Mockingbird Hill. Be a trip to wake in the morning in the Mockingbird Hill. And goodwill, you're welcome as flowers on a Mockingbird Hill. When it's late in the evening, I climb up the hill to survey of a kingdom while everything's still. Only me and my shadow when the winter rolls in. It's off to the twilight on a Mockingbird Hill. Sing to the Guerrero. we'll have a barrel of fun. Roll out the barrel, we got the blues on the run. Then, the railroad, bring out a song of the chill. Now it's time to roll the barrel for the gang of Hill. Yeah! Thank you. Deep within my heart lies a melody, a song of hope and hope. Where in dreams I live with the melody, beneath the stars all above. It was there I found, beside the island, enchantment strange as the blue up above. A moon
know if you're in a zone down there, Chuck, but you might try it. And then it's far away. We might have to move. This building. And then at 3 o'clock we're going to have awards. We're going to present the awards.
Then we come to Ormond, and we come to Ormond, we carry facts and all them farms and the feet, you know, just now. Anyways, I mean, it wasn't really below flowing. Late November till about 1st February. It could be everyone from.
What does it cost to feed the team?
I don't know, I never. Can it go jet down there? They're fun.
Somebody else had a team down here that was like a dapple gray. Earlier, before we ate. What do you think those are?
Well, there's the Brabant over here, and then there's a pair, there's some.
I have some 4-H wagon train cards right here if you want information. You go to 4hwagontrain@gmail.com. Be careful, be safe, because I'll tell you, these animals are powerful, and there's a event around any corner at any time. In fact, last year about now we had an event, I think. Unfortunately, one of the teams, it was wet, and they went down and they got back up.